Hey guys, Scott back again with a new beer dissection video. Tonight or today, depending on when you're watching this, I'm doing my third beer from Treehouse that I've reviewed over the last week or so. If you are familiar with Treehouse Brewing Company, I know they have a place in Charlton, Massachusetts. Take a look for those videos. I've done one on their American Porter Catharsis at the time of filming this video. Julius. And then what I have today is from Treehouse is the green. Okay, now this one I don't believe I've had. I think I had Julius one time on that other video way back in the day, but I got lucky. A buddy of mine, his daughter was up doing a lacrosse event outside of Holy Cross, and they were in the area, so they picked up some of these beers, asked me if I wanted some, so I said, of course, because it's very tough to get these locally here. I don't even know, even up there, if they put them in the local beer shops that much. You may have to go right to the brewery. Around here, you may catch them every so often. I don't remember the last time I saw it, but maybe there's a few stragglers here and there, but, it's just not something I can get on a regular basis. So this is a nice little treat today. This is coming at, again, if I didn't mention, 7.5%. This is a regular IPA. I'm presuming it's going to be American IPA. Who knows? Maybe it's even a New England IPA. Again, not that much info. There's a bunch of info here on the can, but I'm not going to read the entire thing for you. Make the video even longer than it usually is. But really excited to try this out. And Treehouse, I consider one of the big boys, whether it's Treehouse, Alchemist, Trillium, Equilibrium, you name it. There's a bunch of them in New England, the New York, New England area that produce great IPAs. And, the market's been flooded with IPAs. And I, like you said, if you've followed my channel for a bit, I like to do some, commercially made, high quantity IPAs. And I like to do some of these that are a little bit more of a niche market at, more of a, I don't know how many hectoliters of beer they're brewing, or barrels of beer they're brewing up there, but it's a lot, but it's still not as big as like a Budweiser, AB InBev, or Lion Beverage, or things like that. So anyway, I just have my little tulip pint. Sorry about coughing again. I've been dealing with allergies. I just opened up the door here. It always seems to get worse when I do that. Okay, so I'll try to keep the coughing as much to the limit as I can. All right, so let's crack this bad boy open and take a look at it. Okay. Oh, wow, okay. Very nice. It's looking like a New England IPA as I'm sitting here, but I'll show it to you. You can make your own judgment on just the sheer looks of it. All right, so first of all, we got a nice, 1/4 inch. I could have poured it more aggressively, got a little denser head on there, but, good 1/4 inch, pretty tight, compact bubbles. Looks like it would sustain itself a little bit more if I poured it a little bit heavier. Looks really nice though, but the color is, kind of that murky, and I don't want to make murky sound like it's a bad thing, but it is looking like a New England IPA, kind of that hazy, opaque, light gold, dark straw kind of color. It looks always a little darker. Some pictures I've taken on some of the other beers. This was actually canned just several days ago. I got it in my possession. It was canned on September 28th. Today is October 4th. Okay, so it's only been canned about a week ago. Some of the pictures I put on my channel, even my Facebook page, I got a couple of beer friends that are beer geeks too, and they said it looked a little dark, but that was probably more my photography. Just like when I'm looking at it here, it looks a little bit darker, and the concern would be that it was oxidized. I don't think this would be oxidized at all. I've had a couple of these. I got 4 packs of some other beers too from them, and they're not oxidized at all. All right, so, but you do have that kind of opaque, flour and water kind of look to it. Which is pretty standard for New England IPAs. And again, if you followed me on this channel, you've heard me say it many times. A lot of New England IPAs, what's the big thing? Usually it's highly hopped, but usually the bitterness is lower. in most cases, as well as a lot of times they'll use oats or unmalted wheat to create some of that haze. All right, that's standard a lot of times in this New England and hazy, juicy IPAs. Obviously, it's highly hopped, and I'm sure it's dry hopped. There's a lot of hop matter and particulate and polyphenols from the hops that are going to create a lot of that haze too. But they do add some of those ingredients. It's not just, they don't just add those ingredients only to make it look hazy. It adds some mouthfeel components and things like that, more like pillowy mouthfeel, especially with the oats and the wheat. So again, just so you understand that, I may not mention that in every one of my videos when I talk about it, but I know I repeat myself, but I try not to repeat myself every single time. All right, so again, looks very nice, typical standard New England IPA. It kind of gives you that juicy look, that hazy juice look. So let's take a sniff of the aroma before I start losing a lot of it. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Definitely there's citrus in there. I'm getting a heavy dose of grapefruit, maybe a little tangerine, or even like any type of orange citrus. If you want to say like clementine, orange, just plain old orange zest and stuff like that, that's fine. There's a little pineapple. Sometimes I do the little drive-by snips. I'll get the pineapple a little bit more. All in all, though, excellent smelling beer. Those that love New England IPAs, this beer I'm guessing is going to be right up your alley. Okay, especially grapefruit. Now, not to say I don't like New England IPAs. I do. If I can't have them all the time, I feel like I got to kind of mix it up a little bit. But again, I won't go digress too much there. So again, tangerine, pineapple, almost like you get almost like, I don't want to split hairs with the citrus, whether it's a little like lemon lime type of aroma too. The malt is neutral, you kind of get that standard New England IPA, pillowy, white bready, flowery type of aroma on there. Okay, so anyway, guys, cheers, prost. It's still, actually Oktoberfest ended yesterday, okay, in Germany. Cheers, prost. Actually pretty high carbonated, medium to medium high carbonation, which even noticed the Julius was like that too, which is quite nice, quite refreshing. Getting that, again, that white bready, doughy malt profile, which is pretty standard. But on the same thing on the taste buds. Pineapple. There's definitely still citrus there. Grapefruit. Again, a little pithy. Almost like, when I say pithy, we all know what pith is on oranges and lemons and stuff like that. What it gives it to me is like a little bit of like a tartness. I don't want to say astringency, but it's just kind of that little like puckering dryness that I would get on my palate. That's kind of what I get on a lot of these New England IPAs, especially ones to this quality here. There's no alcoholic warmth. As I was talking to you, I just wanted to see if it would hit me a little bit. Even though it's right near the wheelhouse, around 7.5, that I start getting it. But if I am, it's very subtle. It's not giving me that heat like some of the Voodoo Rangers at 9.5%. Just feel like they're burning you. The bitterness is, I would say, moderate to pronounced. Remember, these are going to be lower bitterness than your West Coast IPAs, right? You're not going to get that lip puckering bitterness there. But you have to have enough to offset some of the sweetness. Or sometimes these even get, the knock to them or that there's so much like juice, that you just feel like you're drinking the juice, and it just almost becomes too sweet. I mean, this is actually drinking a little drier than a lot of New England IPAs that I have, that I think between the carbonation, it's probably a little better attenuated, but You know, I don't get that cloyingly sweet sweetness in the back end. Some of these sometimes drink like liquid Jolly Ranchers and things like that. I'm not getting that here. This is really good. But it's really nice. The carbonation's high enough that you almost get a nice refreshing blast on the front end. You get hit with that little citrus pineapple. Then as it kind of fades away, you kind of get like that slightly dank, pithy grapefruit, which again, very nice. Again, some of these adjectives you may think are slamming the beer. It isn't actually. It's just trying to describe you as the sensations you're getting when you're drinking it. How much creaminess too. I said what the carbonation levels seem to be pretty good. Very nice though, guys. You know, you can even see, you know, you're getting some lacing there on the glass, even though I didn't pour it that aggressively. Almost like there is like this lime tangerine mixture that you're getting, which is nice with the pineapple. So again, not cloyingly sweet. I think pretty well balanced. Again, when I say balanced with beers like this, it's obviously a hop-forward beer, all right? There's no doubt. But there is a little bit of malt there, you know, or I should say, even say a little residual sweetness that kind of balances it, so you're not just getting this hop dominance of, you know, flavor and aroma. You kind of have a little bit of malt there. Not, you know, it's not deep. I mean, obviously you can see there's really not using any probably crystal malts or anything in here. But I guess with some of the residual sweetness from the malt and then the hops, it drinks very nicely. Probably better than most that I've had, which is not a big surprise from Treehouse. All right. Pairing, you know, like I do with a lot of my IPAs, I probably sound like a broken record. I really feel things you would add, you know, fruit to, or think of pineapple or salsas and things like that. Spanish food, Mexican tacos, light fishes, okay? Even some white fishes. I mean, a lot of times, sometimes with a strong IPA on like things like salmon, you may get like metallic-y type taste, but I think with some white, delicate fishes, I think you'd be okay with this. I don't think this would overpower it. But again, it's your choice. A lot of these types of beers, I just like to drink them alone sometimes, maybe nosh on a few things, but so I won't go down the food pairing wormhole too much on this beer. Listen, grade-wise, today, again, beer dissection was green from, I'm sure I've had it over my shoulder this whole time, from Treehouse. You know, you really can't go any lower than, you know, A+. I mean, it's one of the big boys in the lineups of IPAs. All right. You know, whether, again, I'll mention, you know, Treehouse, Trillium, Equilibrium. There's a bunch of others on my head that I can't think of. Alchemist. There's what's the other one in Connecticut? But, you know, it is one of the big boys. It really is the epitome of a New England IPA. So if you're looking for West Coast IPA or even just a regular American IPA, like I think their Julius is more of like an American IPA. It doesn't have that, I don't remember the degree of cloudiness is there. It's just not there. But this definitely is a little more citrus, grapefruit, pineapple, with a touch of, say, like orange zest, tangerine. Julius was a little bit more orange, not as much pineapple. So just so you give an idea that if you're looking to buy one, you know what your taste buds are, what you feel like you like to bias towards. That's why I mentioned that. Listen, comparing it to, God, if you compare it to some like your Voodoo Rangers and stuff like that, I think those beers have a place, but this is right off the charts from it. So anyway, guys, a little bit about green from Treehouse Brewing Company in Massachusetts. Today's beer dissection. Hopefully that was informative. And again, please, you know, click like, subscribe, hit the bell if you could, if you enjoy these things. If not, that's fine too. All right. Have a great day till the next beer video. Bye-bye.